Yo, 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 I'm back again. All-Star weekend just recently wrapped up yesterday. And as I said to you guys, I was going to watch the whole weekend and then really make one big video on it for you. So I'm here to do that right now. There was quite a bit going on during the weekend. A lot of ups and a lot of downs, some good stuff, some not so good stuff. So we'll really dig into that today and we'll talk about what needs to be changed about the weekend, because I feel as of right now it's not in the best place it could be in compared to what it was back a while ago. There was some events that were great to watch and they were fun for what they actually are, and then there were some of them that was just not unenjoyable but just sometimes hard to watch. So we'll get into that right now. Weekend started off Friday night with the All-Star Celebrity Game. It wasn't too bad. I feel personally that they were trying to do too much. With the new interactive court, it was awesome to see during Saturday night, but for Friday night with the Celebrity Game, I personally just want to see the celebrities go out there and have a bit of fun and do their own thing. Whereas I feel this year with, the double points button and putting Stephen A's face on the ground for 6 points and the on fire challenge during the end of the third quarter, so that only 3 people should technically have shot the ball for the first 5 minutes of that quarter. It was doing too much for me. When I'm watching that, as I said, I really just want to watch them go out and have a bit of fun. Putting something like that on fire challenge into the game kind of just takes away from it, and it makes, priorities with certain players. So other celebrities are kind of left in the dirt and tucked away when, only 3 people are allowed to get shots up because they're all worth double points and so on and so forth. But all in all, it was enjoyable. Micah Parsons with the MVP, he put up like 37 shots in an All-Star game, which was, quite ridiculous personally. But, he wanted to get buckets and did exactly that. No one could stop him the whole day, so he just ran through everyone and got buckets. My personal favourite was Kai. He was funny to watch. It was kind of disappointing seeing him, really put in the effort to try and get his hands on the ball, but being so short and just being ignored for most of the game. He did sit on the bench for a lot of it, but the spurts that he was on, he was sort of just ignored. But all in all, good Friday night starter. As I said, I think they should just go back to the regular format of 4 quarters of basketball, because they were just trying to do too much, and I didn't really like how they did all these new little nuances that kind of took away from what it actually is, and it's just celebrities playing against each other, and they're trying to add all these extra details. Really just ruins it for me. On to Saturday night, we started off with a skills challenge. Personally, I like the skills challenge and the place that it's in. I like how they have, a hometown team and 2 other teams that are competing. The team format I personally think is great. It kind of, brings team bonding together and brings people together, players from different teams together, all in one different category. It was fun to watch. The Pacers dominated for most of it and ended up with the win, but the shooting challenge was fun. Trae Young was hitting deep balls. Just all those, from the shooting through the scoring zones to the passing through those little hoops and having to coordinate with one another, going from side to side, passing through these hoops. And regular challenge where Scotty Barnes fumbled his dribble. Shout out to Scotty Barnes, but that was quite funny. and some of them didn't actually know where they were going. But, doing the dribbling skills challenge, going through and then laying it up, shooting the three and running back, the relay race, it was good to watch. It was good to watch. Probably close to the highlight of Saturday night for me. Because the players actually looked interested in it and they actually wanted to compete. So it was actually a good watch. As I said, the Team Pacers came out with the win, hometown boys, so they had the crowd behind them. It was good to hear the crowd erupt when they started winning, because it actually gave the crowd some life, which, as I'll get into Sunday, there wasn't too much of. Next up was the three-point contest. My highlight of Saturday night, three-point contest it's like a steady ship. It'll never get any better, but it'll also never get any worse. Like when I'm going to talk about the dunk contest in a minute, I think there is a decline in the dunk contest. So for the three-point challenge to just be this constant, steady involvement for players, they looked, interested in it. There was a 4-way tie for the finals, so they had to run a 30-second tiebreaker. Unfortunately, the hometown boy Tyrese couldn't get through, and then Dame ultimately ended up winning it. Dame is obviously the best three-point shooter, in the world besides Steph Curry. He showed his strength in the end, and I think he won 24-26 over Karl Anthony Towns. It was a crazy night. Everyone actually competes in that event, which I think is a massive win, because it's the one event that people can actually compete in and, look interested in and involved in. So for that to stay, I think that can stay around. There's nothing that needs to be done in the three-point contest. It's not going anywhere. The addition of the Starry balls a few years ago, the three-point balls, I don't even hate. It adds a new element to it and sort of keeps it fresh and involved. So I do actually like the input of those balls. But as I said, three-point contest, I have no complaints. Dame time, your time, all the time. He won it fair and square. It was, it wasn't really close. Steph and Sabrina was the next event up. Close, very close. It was... Shout out Sabrina, shooting from the NBA three-point line and actually tying Dame's game-winning score for, she would have been right up there with the regular three-point contestants. So shout out to her. She performed 26 points out of the possible 40. It wasn't quite, that ridiculous record-breaking 38 or whatever it was that she had last year, but for Steph and her to go out, Steph ultimately winning it with 29 points. For them to go out, get some money for charity, really just run off this event, which, I actually enjoyed to watch. It was, those two they're showmen. They like to present themselves, the way they go about themselves. It was good to watch. It was, as I said, raised for charity, one-time event. I want it to come back. It needs to come back, because these WNBA, NBA crossovers need to happen more, as WNBA players are getting so much better that they can compete to the level of some of these guys. So hopefully that comes back. That was a good watch. And then we ended with the dunk contest, which it's personally, in my opinion, it's exhausted. We've been doing the dunk contest for 50 years now, just about, since 1970 something, and I feel as people we've exhausted every last dunk that's possible. Human athletics, we're not turning into bionic humans or anything, so we're not able to pull off like impossible dunks compared to what we thought was impossible back in the day. We have improved and we have come a long way, but I feel human athletics isn't that good to where... And dunking is only a small portion of basketball. So they're not going out of their way to train day after day, dunk for hours and hours, because it's a waste of time and it's not improving on their craft as players. So for the dunk contest, I don't really know what we can do about it. It's just not exciting anymore because we're seeing repeated dunks. Some of the dunks we still see to this day is crazy, but it's just, as I said, it's a lost cause. The dunking's just never as exciting anymore because most of the time we have seen it. Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon was probably the last good memory of dunk contest because they were unique, and all it is now is just the showmanship of how the dunks are created, like who's jumping over who and who's putting what on their feet before they dunk, and just stuff like that is really the only way that the dunk contest is still interesting, is the showmanship side of it, because the dunks aren't original anymore because we physically can't get original dunks. But for the product that we got, Mac McClung ended up winning for back-to-back years, beating out Jaylen Brown. Jacob Toppin was in there. Jacob, I feel, performed really well and was potentially robbed, but that's another story. And Jaime Jaquez, good to see a rookie in there. But for me, I just never saw Jaime as a dunker. So for him to be in the dunk contest, and he performed well, but it was just, yeah, as I said, the dunk contest is kind of lost for me. I don't really enjoy it as much as I used to. But anyway, on to Sunday night. Nearly 400 points scored between the two rosters. It needs to be changed. Something needs to be put on the line for us to make it competitive, because I feel the product isn't good anymore. It's as bad as it sounds like on social media. It's glorified layup lines and 3-point shots. No defense was played all of last night. I don't think I watched a single possession where there was actually good defense played. People like Luka and Jokic are just running up the court diddly-daddling, and just, they don't care. No one cares. They just rock up because they are selected for this event, and for them to avoid the fine of not turning up. It's lost what it used to be. Back when, a couple of years ago, even when we had the competitive, last quarter, when players actually played for that last quarter. Even if we got that product for that last quarter where it was actually competitive, the event would be so much better. What we got last night was just 4 quarters of just, like, respect for Karl Anthony Towns for his 50 ball, and, respect to him. But if the All-Star game was competitive, Karl Anthony Towns respectfully isn't the 9th best player on that West roster, and he scored by far the most points out of any of them. So the product isn't what it used to be, and the product's it needs to be changed, because, as I said, Karl Anthony Towns top scoring, Damian Lillard somehow putting up 33-point shots in 48 minutes of regulation. Because he was just walking up the court every time. No one would contest him. He'd take a little side step and he'd shoot it. It's the product just isn't what it is and it used to be anymore. And I don't know what we can do to change it. There's been stuff said on Twitter about, home court advantage and give them money. And, like, they already play for charity. The All-Star game is already linked to charity. So why would they be more motivated to play for their own financial benefit compared to charity? So I don't know, it's a lost art. It needs to be changed, because the product that we're getting at the moment, fans are going to get bored with. I'm aware for the players, like you guys, like, they want to rest and they want to, like, protect themselves because they don't want to injure themselves during this time for an exhibition game when, they've got to run the playoffs ahead of them. But something just needs to be happened where, it's at least competitive for a quarter. A competitive last quarter is something that it would go a long way. So, yeah, that's about it. I think the East won 211 to 180 something. It just wasn't really enjoyable for me, but if you enjoyed it, like, I'm glad, but for the diehard NBA fan, it's just not really what it used to be, and it needs to be changed. But that's really everything I can say. All-Star Weekend as a whole, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Like, there was good stuff, and the good stuff slightly outweighed the bad stuff. But as I said, a couple of changes need to come. I hope they do come in the very near future. There's talks of, we've been talking it for a decade about one-on-one competition, and, I think that would be really beneficial for Saturday night. But who knows? Only time will tell. I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend and you guys watched the weekend. It was, as I said, it was ups and downs. So, but other than that, that's all I really have to say about it. If you enjoyed this, liking and subscribing would be greatly appreciated for me. I hope you guys take care and look after yourselves, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Peace.